Okay, being that it's 6 o'clock, we will ask everyone to stand for the Coos Bay City Council meeting, and we will do the flag salute. As a reminder to all, this is a special public meeting, and I will see if we have any public comments for the special meeting. No public comment. So the first item on this evening's agenda is approval of the collective bargaining agreement with American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. And Nicole, I think this is you handling this?
Yes, thank you. So just to give you guys a little bit of back context, for the city of Coos Bay, there are three represented groups of employees that provide services to the community. The Coos Bay Police Officers Association, the International Association of Firefighters, and then the group that we're looking at this agreement with tonight, which is American Federation of County, State, and Municipal Employees. We generally strive to come to agreement on 3-year contracts. So that leaves us with a rotation of contracts dealing with one every year. We've been really successful with that, and maybe thought we were going to struggle with a year contract with this this process this year, but we were able to land a 3-year contract. We generally open these up with a interest from the union to open their contract in the fall. We usually receive notification that they're going to open the contract and begin negotiations. And then usually around the start of the year, we start that process. I think our first meeting with the ASME group was in February. And we worked through spring and in past the date of their expiring contract into this last month, all the way through mediation, having an outside party kind of help us find a center ground that we could agree to. So what's presented to you tonight for your approval is the contract that we arrived at that center ground with, that the union has also ratified. Their membership has ratified this. So estimating the costs for these contracts, usually COLAs are related to a indexing method. All of our collective bargaining agreements have a COLA reference, so an annual increase in wages, and that's related to the consumer price index. And so while we try to estimate what the cost of these changes will be, it's dependent upon what those CPI changes will be in those future years. And so we give you kind of this range of where we've landed. And with this agreement, we're estimating a change in costs over the 3-year period between a little over 234,000 at the lowest level and up to 500 and almost 20,000 at the highest level. Again, unpredictable what will be in years 2 and 3. This agreement has some minor additions, but it stayed mostly in line with what was already there. There were some changes to definitions, some clerical kind of things to clean up language. But generally, we landed pretty close to where we kind of started with, knowing that we had limited funds to really expand some of the asks that were made to the city. Not because we didn't find value in those folks performing those services, but just really about not having the funds necessary to cover those costs. So I appreciate the folks who sat at the table with me. We had our, both Chelsea and Jennifer were there, Jessica, our HR coordinator, and Sammy with the library, and our labor attorney represented the city of Coos Bay. So I'm happy to dive into anything you might have questions about, any articles that maybe need a little bit more depth added to them so you can understand those changes.
Great, thanks, Nicole. And forgive me, before we go any further, Mayor Benetti is online this evening. My apologies, Mayor Benetti, for not introducing you at the start of the meeting. So with that said, I'll entertain any questions, Councilor Kilmer?
I had a couple. And I might have missed it. Did you say how many employees are represented by this?
I think there's 46, I think
Okay.
is the total.
Roughly. All right. And then the budget, under the budget implications, that is for salaries, or is that salaries and benefits?
That is salaries and benefits, our best estimate again in relation to potential insurance changes, costs and insurance over the years. And then if there were any factors that were monetary that were changed in this, for example, we added a level 4 certification pay. We have an individual who reached that and we want to acknowledge that. So those kinds of things were included in those estimations.
Any other questions, counselors?
Just a comment for me. I just want to say that I believe that the individuals that make up the union labor force provide a vital service and do a great job. And they do deserve, a fair wage. The difficulty when you guys go into these negotiations is we are not a manufacturer. We don't make anything. We don't have any way of increasing our revenue. We are strictly limited to what comes in. And that frankly has been a diminishing direction. So I think it's a real challenge when you're coming from that point where the staff is just wanting to keep up with inflation and be fairly compensated for the good work they do. And we would like to do that. There is no money tree in the backyard. And so we have limited resources. So I want to acknowledge thanks to both sides for staying at the table and working through those, because there is no easy answer and you got to an agreement. So well done by everyone. Thank you.
Well said, Counselor Cribbins. Any other comments? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that we would approve the fiscal year 2026-2028 collective bargaining agreement with the AFSCME Local 2892.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the fiscal year 2026-28 collective bargaining agreement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We will now adjourn this meeting and we will go into